Hey, welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking. Just a group of friends sitting on talk about news, culture, and sometimes politics. We got John,
You're
Doc,
Yo.
Ian in the figurative back,
Hey, yo.
and myself, Eugene. We took like obviously a 2 week break, like I told y'all last episode. If y'all are there, I was in Wisconsin. Doc went home. I did some farming stuff, and it was I don't want to say it was miserable, but basically everything that could break down broke down, and we had to do everything by hand. And I threw out my back.
Damn, that sucks.
It was like it wasn't even like an intense motion. Like I was sorting the hay, and then I was throwing the
but you
hay
can
up
feel
to
it.
Ian. Oh, I felt it. Like when I used too much of my back, I guess, to like throw the bale of hay, and when I threw it, I like felt it like
Right.
instantly. Just I don't know, and I don't know what it was, but it was sharp, and I was like, ooh, I threw it on my back, and I like took me a while to stand up, and I was like, instantly I thought of John. And I was like, he's gonna fucking die laughing when I tell him this. Like instantly, the first thing I thought was, I gotta tell John.
I wish I could laugh at you, but I probably did it twice. So
Man, it's not a good feeling. But yeah, everything broke down. Ian and I were doing, I wouldn't say like the old style of hay baling, but we were close to it. Walking the fields, picking up hay, throwing them on the trailer, taking it to the barn, taking them off the trailer, and organizing them by everything by hand.
It's good
It,
practice because you're going to be doing it by hand until you get all the equipment you need.
well, I can talk about it later, but because another thing we realized is the equipment is incredibly expensive,
Uh-huh.
and the maintenance for the equipment is it's not that as expensive. It's getting the parts depending on the type of machine, the brand you get. And obviously getting newer, it's more expensive, and to go cheaper you got to get older, but if parts break down, finding the parts is a pain in the butt. Fortunately in Wisconsin, we're the country, they had a guy that had a really large business when it came to salvage. So I went to the salvage with one of the guys, and we ended up finding one of the uh, cutters that he was using, and we just took the part we needed and replaced it. So next day it was fixed, but everything else started breaking down.
How
It
was
was an
that countryside?
experience. I honestly like the countryside. Wisconsin, don't come at me, but Wisconsin is white as fuck. Like it is not diverse like it is here in Texas, or at least in the area that we live in. Like I'm in New Braunfels area. Like I see like white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Indian. Like I see races in Wisconsin, bro. White. I that is a very homogeneous. Did I say the word homogeneous?
Homogenous. Yeah.
imagine it.
Homogeneous. Yeah, it's a very homogeneous area.
Interesting. Well, you were also in rural, like Wisconsin.
Oh, it was country. Yeah, it was definitely, yeah. There was no cell service. It was bad. Like to get that video I sent y'all, it took me a while to find an area out in the fields. Like, okay, I got service.
That's a while.
And the weather too was nice. Like it wasn't like the heat in Texas. There was one day where it hit 90, but it wasn't humid, so it felt like 75, 80s, but like bright sun.
Oh,
Like
that's not bad.
today, how it's like humid and like 100 degrees. Like today, it nowhere near that in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was at the gym and I was like dry heaving because I was like, holy crap, it's like 100 degrees outside.
What's
My gym
the
doesn't have
accent like?
AC.
We were saying, John,
What's the accent like?
what's the what like?
Exit.
The exit?
Accent.
Oh, the accent. What's the accent like? I don't I don't know about you, Ian, but I don't really notice an accent. If there was an accent, it's just I guess the typical country accent.
Didn't really notice any accents at all, honestly.
Did they say y'all?
Chris?
Or is that just solely Texas?
Ooh, that's a good point. I don't remember hearing y'all honestly.
I thought they
All
talk like Canadians.
they did mention the hat. I had like my like sun hat because I had to keep the sun from my face and like my shoulders and everything like that. And they made a point like, oh, Texans and their hats. It's like, yeah, you need a hat for the sun, man.
We got a
They didn't.
cowboy hat?
It wasn't a cowboy hat. It was here I can show
You be such an asshole without even trying to be.
you. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
that
you
hat
need
I had to
hats
wear.
for the sun, right?
Yeah, yeah, here.
It's just a regular sun hat.
Yeah, exactly. It's the regular sun hat because
Yeah,
See, look at y'all.
I'd be wearing that too.
exactly because that sun it'll beat down on you and it hurts. My dad, his nose started to like bubble up from getting sunburn on his nose because he refused to wear a hat because he's stubborn.
Oh, your pops went out there with you too?
Sometimes, yeah, because dude, when things broke down, like it was all hands on deck. Like everyone, if you're able to work the field, get your ass on the field.
Yo,
That's funny.
slavery had to suck, son.
They even had the
Can you
foreign
imagine the
exchange guy.
Egyptians?
The
Yes,
foreign exchange
this
guy.
foreign exchange kid actually ended up getting on the field too. That was hilarious.
Where's he from?
New Zealand, right? Ian?
Uh, News. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get New Zealand or Sweden.
To be
One of
honest
the
with
two.
you, if you're from a
Yeah.
foreign country and you end up in Wisconsin as the foreign exchange, you have been let down by the exchange. The
Yeah.
exchange is not equivalent. There is no way that you will leave America thinking some other shit. And that is not how like
Especially in like the fields, working hay.
Yeah.
dude, but could you imagine what the Hebrews were going through in the desert of Egypt? Like, nigga, you talking about a sun hat.
Yeah.
Nigga had to
Um,
build a pyramid.
enough about me. What about your
Jesus
Doc? How was your
Christ.
trip home? How was that? Seeing the family.
It was good, man. Caught my grandmother's 90th birthday. She don't have too many more of those, so
Sheesh,
Abuelita.
90.
yeah. That's why I had to get there because I was like, my whole family was like, dude, it's like a mini family reunion because it's your grandmother's 90th, and she's already like, she's starting to show her age for sure, for sure. So we don't know how many years she's got left. So we're like, all right,
I mean, what is starting to
let's
show your
appreciate
age at 90 though? Like
Yeah, yeah,
90 is crazy.
yeah. Well, I just mean
That's a
she's.
blessing.
It was a not so obvious way of me saying that her like health is starting to decline because
Okay,
age
okay.
is already getting up to her. Like she's like one fall away from a bad day. So yeah, I had to catch her out there and spend time with the family and just had a good time, man. I hadn't seen my family in a while too. And I finally had
That's
time
good.
to
That's good.
go out there and see them.
How was the move, John? How's your new place?
Fantastic. I love
Not in
it.
the
More
kitchen anymore, I
spacious.
see.
No, 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 not at all. I actually have like an office room thing. I just haven't set it up yet.
Oh, it's an
But it's
office.
Nice.
pretty cool.
I was about to make fun of you, R. Kelly. Stuck in the closet.
No,
He's like, no,
little
I'm done with
office.
that.
They got a table. They got everything I need here too. I just gotta make it look nice.
Nice. That's
But
good,
yeah,
man.
the move's been cool so far, man. Hey, would y'all want to live till 90?
No.
I don't know. My grandmother makes it look like it's fun, but I think she's a very proud woman. So I don't think she
It makes
likes
it look like it's
everyone.
fun and crazy.
She doesn't like everybody like fucking waiting on her like hand and foot.
Yeah. I can understand that. I don't like that either. Like when I threw my back out, everyone was telling me like take a break. It was like, nah, we got to get this done. Like I'm not gonna just because I threw out my back, I'm gonna stop. Like we got to get this done.
Yeah, let
So
me just fuck it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's it. She doesn't like slowing other people down. So like when everybody's at her house, she's just like, I want to keep up with everybody, but you can tell she's struggling.
yeah, I'm gonna be a grumpy old man when it comes to work. I already know that. John already knows that too. Well, good segue, John, asking about if you want to live until 90, because the first article we're going to talk about is the multi-millionaire entrepreneur infused himself with blood from his 17-year-old son in a quest to stay young forever. So this kind of speaks for itself, so I'll probably do a short read and then we'll get down into it. So let me read these bullet points. Brian Johnson is a 45-year-old millionaire who is attempting to slow down his aging process. His latest venture involves getting blood plasma from his 17-year-old son, Bloomberg reported. Johnson also gave blood to his own father, completing the tri-generational blood exchange. Dude, that sounds so weird.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi movie.
Uh, it's not that often a parent asks for a huge favor from their parent. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. We basically get like I don't think they're gonna say more. It's gonna talk about his family and if you want to pontificate about it. So first question I want to ask for y'all is expanding on John's first question is if you could live forever or be immortal, would you?
Depends on when they pulled up on me with that elixir.
What do you
If
mean
they pulled
when?
up on me in my 60s with the elixir, I'm like, I'm good, brother. They catch me in my 30s, early 20s, physical prime.
Well, what if it's your 60s? The said elixir like restores you to like your optimal like peak physique. Like it's not like a
And I
pause.
think I'd probably be sad by whatever it picked to be my peak physique.
That'd be funny though.
You'd be like, oh,
You
really?
take it
This
and you're
was
like, bro, this
it?
was my peak.
This
I
was
should have
it? You
taken this
trying to tell
shit.
me this is my peak? Fuck you, Elixir. No, dude. I would not want to live forever.
Nah.
Because
That-
eventually, let me tell you something. Eventually, them aliens are gonna come, and you don't want to increase the chance of that being like something I even have to deal with.
You'd have to deal with it, man. Meet them, be an ambassador,
I mean,
see them
it's
all the
hard.
time as the number one human that's gonna cross generations with their freaking relations. I've thought about
You
it
might
before. I think
become a pedophile by default.
what?
because you'd be like 1,000 and you'd be dating like a 20-year-old.
All right, you got me. That's
What are
valid.
y'all talking about?
Why would you date though? Like at some point, wouldn't you be like, I just can't do this anymore? Like it's just like I'm done.
Because after thousands and thousands of years, the urge to be loved and make love is just gonna go away.
Yeah, I could see that, especially if you're in your prime. Like if you're physically in your
Oh,
prime. I mean, you definitely mentally get
fuck.
tired of shit.
Mhm.
Like you'd be like, oh, I don't really want to hear about this college kid's like issues or whatever. But you'd still like be like, I'm still attracted to her.
I think
I
issues in general, like all issues, like I don't want to talk about family. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about drama because it's like I would in my mind I'd see it like a circle, like it's the same shit but in a different eon.
Yeah, it definitely would be. I think it'd be
That shit
cool
weird.
to be able to carry information across the generations and to witness stuff like that, and to just be there for critical moments of humanity. But you would definitely be an observer for a long period of time. Like I don't know if you guys have ever read the Sandman series. It's like a big show on Netflix now, but it's a series of comics. There's one point where the god gives this guy immortality, and he tells him to meet him at a tavern every like 100 years. And so every 100 years he shows up, and like the dude is just he looks different every time. Like 100 years he's super lavish and he's rich, and he's like I made smart investments and whatever. And 100 years later, he's like a hobo, and he's like I lost it all. And then 100 years later, he's like I'm in the war. And then 100 years later, he's just like I'm going to the new world. And like it's just after a while, he keeps meeting him, and like 2,000 years later, and he's just like it's same shit. Like, and he eventually gets to a point where he's just like fuck, like I'm just living
You're
every
doing the
cycle
same
over and
shit.
over again. He's already been rich, he's already been everything, and he's just kind of bored of it, and he's looking after a while for a reason. So eventually, like it stops being the god listening to the human with immortality and starts being the human listening to the god, because he's just like, why did you do this to me? And he's trying to figure out what to do. I don't actually remember how it ends, but I just remember him constantly meeting that guy at the bar.
The last thing I remember, because I did watch that series, it was the human wanted the god to recognize him as a friend, and the god was like, "How dare you?"
Okay.
And then that was when he kind of got, not to spoil anything, but that's when he was trapped for that beginning of the episode of the
Yeah.
season. Remember, he was trapped. He was
Yeah.
supposed to meet him for the 100 years after they had that friendship fight. Like you're like, am I not your friend after all this time? Like, aren't we friends? And the god's like, no, how dare you? I'm a god.
I
And
don't
then
remember that. Yeah, okay.
he had like a little tantrum pretty much, and then he well, I'll see you in 100 years, and then he got
Yeah, okay, I
trapped.
remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that. He walks off all pissed.
yeah, and he didn't see him. He was in there waiting, and dude didn't show up. And then he went through after this throughout the season, like after like 8 episodes. It's like they show up again. It's like, all right, bro, I actually missed you. We're friends.
Yeah, that guy's writing is great, man. But I've always thought of being like that guy and just experiencing so much. I know it'd be emotional roller coaster. The one thing I would hate would be to never see my loved ones forever. Really, like once they're gone, the rest of eternity is just spent without them. So I feel like that would really suck. And the
Yeah,
responsibility of like not being able to really love, because you know that that person would just die, and then you would have to deal with that and just keep going.
yeah, no desire to live forever. I'd never like people when I asked them like if you could, if you would, and they said they would. I just think I would not. That is not something I want in this world.
Me neither. But to the story, um, did he have the kid solely for this purpose? Also, where are they from?
Let me see if it says in the article where they're from.
I read
I'm
something
just
like Arlington, Texas.
no, they're not in Texas. No way.
Look at Gene. Gene's a fucking Texas sexual.
What? Elaborate.
That's a thing that they're doing. I just wanted to use the phrase when they add sexual behind something that you actually just like.
I understand.
Dude, this guy looks
Um,
like he's in a sci-fi horror movie.
dude, he looks like a vampire.
Yeah, that too.
He straight up looks like a what's it called vampire. He looks like what's his face from Underworld, Corvinus or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's exactly who he looks like.
It looks like a villain in a Marvel series spinoff.
It doesn't say on here.
Dude, if
Let me
I
just
was
look
the
up
son, I'd be
name.
kind of scared. I'd be like, dude, maybe he's like trying to put himself in my body.
Like he wouldn't have like one of those crazy powers, but he'd have one of those like weird powers where like he can see what's gonna happen in the next half a second.
Yeah. But he secretly like doesn't have a face, like he can just pull his skin off and that's what he really looks like. And that's why
Dude, he
he's taking his
spends
kids
10 million
fucking
a year to do this.
No, see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
even like
he's probably ugly as
it
hell
looks
and
like
that's why he takes his
Android
kid's
S.
blood.
To be honest with you, Android 27. Like he doesn't even have like a
This
Okay,
would
his
work.
face.
he was
What
I feel
born
like
in
that's
emotion is
good.
his face?
Utah.
What emotion is his face right now? Somebody answer.
I don't
I
know.
can't find out where he
No,
lives,
there's nothing there.
but he's from Utah.
Oh, he's Mormon. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. The
Biotech
blood drinkers.
founder.
Dude, that's a very
Dude.
empty expression in my opinion. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
John's right. There's like
What
nothing in there.
emotion would you call? What would you say he's feeling?
He's computing.
Exactly. I'm just fucking computing.
I would look. He put this like, is could you associate this with evil?
Child abuse.
Oh, I would argue child abuse too, but I want to take it to the extreme and call it just straight up evil.
This nigga is struggling with mortality at 45. He's been doing
Yeah.
this for 10 years. So since 35, he's already been like running
So
away from death.
is this evil?
Then the nigga didn't make himself bulletproof though, did he?
Nah.
Stab proof, cancer proof. Like,
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just because it's like it's
He
almost like
looks concerned.
it's like textbook villain, man. It's like you're literally like siphoning your child's blood for your own vanity, or you can't just let time take its way. You know what I mean? Like you have to do something so unnatural at the cost of like your kid's gonna get fucked up. Like, how do you tell your people that? Like, oh, my dad used to take my blood for.
Apparently, he cheated on his wife when she got breast cancer.
Okay, yeah. Then he's like an evil dude. I would agree with that. I mean, if he cheated on her because she was annoying to deal with, because he didn't want to deal with her and her difficulty of breast cancer, then yeah, dude.
It
Totally.
seems in character.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. Why would the son volunteer for it? Like, he has to give his son a shit ton of money.
A liter of blood. He donates a liter of blood.
He has to be giving him money. Like, he has to pay him like 500K or something like a year, so the son can
donate,
live
nigga.
lavishly
You
throughout
better
the year.
run me my fucking ducats. Talking about donate.
I was about to say, yeah, he's 17 years old. You live in my house, bro. You're still under my bills. Like, I don't need to donate shit. You give me that blood.
I,
And
but,
child abuse.
but yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like as a kid,
Exactly.
like you could report that, right? Like you'd be like, dude, my dad makes me give him blood.
Not only could you report it, the guy seems to be willing to do interviews.
Yeah, what else does it say? Like, does this even
What do you
work?
think is in that fridge?
His kid's blood?
Yeah, like, what do you mean? His blood, like, it speaks for
Like,
itself.
what if
He's a vampire. There's blood in
what if
there.
he's in the kitchen?
Ah, he's got his kid's blood in there, man. Right next to the ketchup.
That's his kitchen fridge. Look like he got some snacks up there on the top left a little bit. I don't know, one of them tops. That's the kitchen fridge, nigga. That's barbecue sauce top, nigga. He like hit blood with a little barbecue sauce.
I wouldn't put them so close by. Who knows which one you're gonna grab?
Is it better aged?
You said what? Is he underaged?
The kid's
Is it better
17.
Yeah, the
aged?
kid's 17, so technically, I mean,
When does the kid become useless?
it's a good question. I'm gonna like we're fully grown at 25, so 25.
When he stops
So is he
being a
trying to tap
meatbag,
into
I
that?
guess.
Like, what is the goal here? Is it genuinely to like stay young? Is it to keep his? I think I read somewhere like he said his goal is to make sure everything is kept at its optimal operating like
But it's already not.
stats.
But it's already not. But it's already not. You want to know why? It's already not, dude. Because I can look at him and tell him he's not 25.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, if this may be a bad picture, I'm about to look up another picture because he looks just weird in my opinion. Like he just looks like he does some blood infusion stuff, which is not a good look in my opinion.
I just want to know, does it actually work?
I mean, to a degree, it probably does because like it's forgot the science behind it, so I'm not gonna.
Transfusion.
I don't want to speak out of my ass here,
I
but
mean, in my mind, it's like he's taking out, like he's not using unleaded, he's using like the super unleaded. And I don't know if that's too simple, but like that's the way I see it.
okay, if these pictures are him, then they chose the worst picture to represent him
No.
because he actually looks
What
fine in
is
these
this?
pictures.
No. No. You better use this picture. I don't care. You bet. Please. No. This is not a real picture. Hey, type. Google this nigga. Google this nigga with his appearance. No, this isn't real.
Wait, what is Ian googling? What is he googling?
Google him with his son and his father. Please tell me. Please tell me this is not him.
All right, this
There's
is the last.
no way this nigga from Gap. This is an episode. Nigga from a Gap ad. Abercrombie. Abercrombie and Fitch. Oh my God. No. How did you find it? Daily Mail. Go to Daily Mail.
So I'll see if I can find the picture and put it in Ian, but I'm not sure what you're looking for.
Oh, can I just screenshot it then send it to Ian?
Yeah, do that. Screenshot it and send it to the Discord chat. How does the mom feel about this?
Whoa, that is that dude.
You put in the general chat.
I can't believe like CCP's not getting called on something like this. Like you misgender your child and you get CCP calling you, but you take your child's blood to stay youthful and there's no CCP involved. Doesn't that sound weird? Am I the only
This is
one
a
that hears
wild
that?
human being. This is a wild human being. Niggas talking about Kanye. This is a wild human being, dog.
Who's the guy on the far right? Is that his dad? Is that the grandfather?
No, that's not the picture. That's not the
Son,
picture.
son,
No.
son,
No.
son.
No. That's weird.
Dude,
Bro,
yeah.
that's weird. What are we doing? I'm done talking about it. This just took a turn I didn't want to talk about, bro. This is a I don't want I don't
Go back to the truth. Look at it. Go back to the truth. Look at it.
He's like, nah, I refuse. Yo, all right,
This
last
is what
thoughts
we
to let's
talking
move
about
on.
here. That's crazy. That's a crazy hug.
I don't
That
know.
is a
Is that a
that's a crazy hug, dude.
I'm not even saying
What?
anything. Sure. John, quit looking. Let's move on. That's
Son,
wild. That threw me
son,
off.
He's just
what
fucking
niggas
caught in the headlights.
Clint Eastwood?
All right, let's move on. That took a turn I was not expecting.
Oh my God. Them niggas
Hey,
shop at Pedophile Gap.
it is
Goddamn.
Pride. It is Pride Month.
Oh, Gene.
Oh God. With the wife beaters too, bro. Ugh. Stop. The thinnest wife beaters
Them
to
niggas, them
exist
niggas look at them niggas look at women as like merely a tool for breeding more men.
for blood to stay youthful. And the grandfather, didn't even look that youthful because he used to
This
give
nigga look
his
like
father blood too. Apparently, like it's a family
Really?
thing. Yeah, like it's a
What?
family thing. Exactly. Remember the word? It was they had a triage going. Like that's what. Like it's weird.
Yeah,
you know
that's
the
weird.
dad in the picture, the grandpa, he only holding the dad. Like
And the way he was
he
holding him too was
he,
real.
he
Like nah.
back hugging him. The nigga look like gay Guile, like they tried to cast a Street Fighter. This
Dude,
is
I'm
bad.
So
This
which
is
one's
bad.
rich though, the grandpa or like the guy himself? Like who made the fortune?
go back to the picture real quick, Ian.
Go to the good picture.
For oh, you clicked off it. Oh, he got it saved.
He's like, nah, I got this one.
So the one who made the fortune is the guy
Can
in
you
the
zoom in
middle
on the
who's like
grandfather's face while he talks,
super
Ian, please?
pale.
Just zoom in that face while he's talking. Go ahead, continue, Gene. Go ahead.
So the guy in the middle is the guy who made the money. Then obviously the grandfather's the old man, and then we got the son.
This is just fantastic. This is just fantastic.
Bro, this is weird.
This is just fantastic.
Yeah,
These
dude.
niggas always look like they just got out the pool. This is crazy.
I
This
don't
is the
understand.
weirdest
It's
episode
it's
of
like some
Cobra
vampire
Kai
shit though.
I've
It's
ever
just not
seen.
even.
Yes, that's what I said. They're vampires, bro. And what's
Yo,
up with
this
this
is
facial expression? What's the photographer doing? Look pedophilic.
I guess they're trying to do tough.
That's not tough.
yo. His son don't got no friends. First off, his son don't got no friends. It's not possible. Hey, this is a wild episode of Cobra Kai. I ain't gonna lie to you. This, I don't know. This is the weirdest
Don't
episode
do
of
This is
Cobra
the
Cobra
one
Kai
where
Kai I've
like
they,
that.
ever
the
seen.
one where
Don't
they
do
gotta fight
Cobra
the
Kai.
vampires. The one
Don't do
vampire
Cobra
kid
Kai
at the
like
high school.
that. Don't do Cobra Kai
Man,
like
oh
that.
man. Them niggas don't even look like it was birthed. They look like they came out of like pods. Like they, like you remember at the beginning of the
Test
Matrix when
tube babies.
the nigga just came out the sperm.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. I'm tired of
Oh
looking at
my
these weird
god!
guys. Close out this,
Like
Ian. Get this keep this
die
off my phone.
harder, and
All right, the next crazy topic. Al
thank you.
Pacino is on track to be the oldest dad in Hollywood, with 83-year-old actor girlfriend is 8 months pregnant. How
Oh
old
my
is she?
goodness.
Well, she is 29-year-old Noor Alfallah. She is 8 months pregnant. Their baby would be Pacino's fourth child, earning him the top spot in Hollywood's older dads club. Is that an actual thing, or are they just being funny?
I think
How
it's
old
being
is he?
funny. He's
84.
89.
Oh, 80,
84.
83. Probably 84 now, but
No,
whatever.
totally wrong.
The couple were first spotted together in April of 2022, but have been dating quietly since the pandemic. Al Pacino is on track in the top spots. In the top spot in Hollywood's older dads club, the 83-year-old actor's 29-year-old girlfriend is reportedly 8 months pregnant. Pacino set to surpass 79-year-old The Godfather co-star Robert De Niro, who became the oldest on the list after announcing the birth of his seventh child earlier this month. While Pacino has dated big Hollywood stars in the past, including Diane Keaton and Beverly D'Angelo, he has never married per People. He does have three children, 22-year-old twins, Anton and Olivia, with ex D'Angelo, 71, and his eldest daughter, Julian Marie, 33, with acting coach Jan Tarrant. Alfallah comes from Kuwait American family and previously dated 79-year-old Mick Jagger. So she's been around. Whoa! Okay. Alfallah Pacino have dated since the pandemic, and that's basically it. So, the first question to start off this conversation. Is this pedophilia?
He's you digging?
Or pedophilic? Oh, it's 100% gold digging. To answer John's question, it's 100% gold digging. She
First
dated
off,
Mick Jagger first. She had intentions
how
and a goal
old?
for a lifestyle.
How old? How old is his oldest child?
22.
22, I think it said.
Al Pacino's oldest child is 22.
I
Yeah.
think that's correct. Yes.
And his girlfriend's 29.
Mhm. And his eldest daughter, Julie Marie, 33, with acting coach John Morant. I said John Morant. Jen Durant.
Oh, so then his
So
oldest
he has a
child is
33-year-old.
33.
So his oldest daughter is older than the girl that he's dating or got pregnant.
Barely. Barely. I would argue they're damn near the
What's
same
barely?
age. 3 years older? Or 4?
She's she's still older than the girl he impregnated.
I mean,
So
she is. Don't get me
definitely,
wrong, but they're
it's
like it's
definitely pedophile. Like even it being close, I would say if his oldest daughter is 33 and the girl was 35,
so I'm not
still
excusing it.
fucked
I'm
up.
not excusing it. I'm trying to say like even though she's older, like they're still like in my mind the same age.
Age group, yeah, I'll give you that. But still, fuck no. He has a 33-year-old. Fuck no. What are you doing? It's disgusting. That's
Seriously.
disgusting.
Like, how does the thought in
Disgusting.
mind not like like they may not be friends, but at least the thought like I'm potentially dating one of my daughter's friends. That should be wrong on all types of levels.
That one, yeah, that one's kind of weird.
I think when you doubling the person's age is we're getting in a crazy area.
Doubling, he's tripling.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, think about
He's
it.
3
40 and 20.
generations out.
Even if you heard 40, if you heard 40 and 20, you'd be like, ooh, that's kind of weird.
That's why I asked the
But then
question:
if
is
you heard,
pedophilic?
but
Because
then if you heard 40 and 25 or 24, you'd be like, but I guess, right? But when you double it up, no matter what the age is, it does not sound right. So for this to be like triple
triple.
double, boy putting Jokic in Brazil, that's crazy. The
I'm
nigga
gonna
is
ask.
84
I
years
do feel
old.
like though for him it's a weird situation though because the guy's been famous since he was in his 20s. The guy's lived a life of like lavishness since then. Like to him, women are just like they just come. You know what I mean? Like so if he's just kind of kept that going until like his 80s or 90s or whatever, like he totally has a different mindset than I think most other people do. Like for one thing, he knows he's got money in the back.
Fucked up mindset. I would
Well,
argue a fucked up
hold on.
mindset.
Okay, hold on. Hear me out. I don't agree or excuse this. Shit's fucking disgusting, right? I think you should be happy with whatever the fuck you have going on. But
Yeah,
84,
nothing.
that's like, to Doc's point, he's used to basically tricking off on hoes and fucking what he seems to be, deems to be his type of woman. He's always had his type of woman.
Mm.
So, because he gets older, if he can still afford his type of woman, then it's still fucking disgusting. There's no way around that. But like, he probably just hasn't. He's never like. Basically, we telling Al Pacino to go fuck some 60-year-old pussy and up. Everything else, leave it alone. That's what we
No,
telling him.
no, he doesn't have to fuck. Stop fucking, bro. You're 83, 84.
So stop fucking. Period.
Those people don't stop fucking, dude.
I'll ask the question. I'll repeat the question I asked before we started this podcast. She cannot be enjoying the sex. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way the sex is good. Like, what are you like? There's no way.
Well, I mean, she might have like some kind of a weird fetish or some kind of a weird issue where she's like loves like
I
older
think.
dudes.
I think if you're into like leather hitting your skin, if you're into like leather BDSM, you might like them droop slapping up against.
I think she might just be a 30-year-old woman with a daddy issue though too, and that's kind of its own thing.
I just,
I mean, people like old people like when they get put into fucking nursing homes and stuff like they still fuck. It's like going like from what I've heard, it's like dorm rooms. Like people just fucking go to each other's rooms and hook up and stuff like that. So
I've heard the same thing. It's just applying that to a young girl. It's like either screw people your own age, like John said, and I agree with that, or just don't be screwing. Like
Just don't be screwing.
Because what are you screwing
Nigga
for at this point?
nigga
Like,
with the Jesus Christ on his head, of course. Don't be screwing.
exactly, got to represent, bro. Like a
Yeah.
full on, like he's engaging in lust, and he's deep
Yeah,
in his
all
lust,
right.
like he's
Them old
deep
folks
in his
do
lust.
not know when the last screw is gonna be the last screw.
I do
I
think
don't
he's
know,
he's
bro.
very hedonistic in the sense of it. But also the other
Me
part
too.
that's weird about it is that
100%,
like
100%.
he's like it's winning though. Like he's dating a 30-year-old woman at 80 whatever.
Is that
Like
winning?
That shit not winning. That shit
I mean,
disgusting. Also,
it,
is this his first hit?
like
No,
it,
I want to
I,
hold on. I want to address this. How is that winning?
well, I actually think it's up to perspective, bro. If all he wants to do is fuck, well then he's winning, dude.
Ah, I refuse to accept that. I understand what you're saying. Like, it's not necessarily wrong, but I still like that's
Yeah.
just a very weird perspective. If your goal in life is to
Niggas,
fuck girls between the age of 18 to 30 your entire life, like basically Robert Downer Jr. status
you're weird.
or what DiCaprio status, you're weird, bro. Like John, like you're weird. There's something wrong with you, in my opinion. Like
Yeah, I
there's
was about to say,
genuinely
I was like,
something wrong with you.
I think
Yeah, but I don't
Junior
think
got
this is his
married and shit like that. He's not doing that anymore.
real question though. But what if he had a hip replacement?
He'll have to.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
time,
but
every year, he's got to get adjusted.
I think this is his second hip, and I think his second hip is only 25 years old. You know, when you ever put a new engine
Bro, he's got
in a
2
car,
pumps in him and he's done.
I think it's
I don't think you
it's a lot on
understand
the
that. I
girl
think
though, because the girl, like her previous boyfriend was Mick Jagger. Like it's the dudes that around the same age, you know what I mean, and has the same
where
amount
is
of
she
credibility.
hanging out?
That's a good
For
question.
real, that's a great question. Like, how is she getting in these
Bar is this
places?
bitch going to?
This bar where there's nothing but really old famous guys.
Bro, I'm sorry. Like,
Viagra.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring it up again. This is damn near pedophilic
I'm
tendencies.
gonna
Like, how
lie.
are these old men meeting these young girls? Like,
I'm gonna lie.
it's
But
weird.
it
I don't
is
think he
weird.
has to care, or he even has to try to do something like he's Al
He just wants
Pacino,
to
dude.
die happy in
He,
lust. That's
he can
all he wants to do is die happy in lust. He looked like he might die with his next erection. Like the nigga looked like his age is like, ooh. But you know what, too? I ain't gonna lie to you. I view people like that as greedy and selfish and like I don't know him, his character or anything like that. But I view like old perverted, like when you're that much in lust at that age, it's like a like
You're
almost like
stealing
what are you
someone
gonna do
else's
when you
wife. That's someone
like,
else's wife.
man, no, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This bitch wanna fuck 83-year-old niggas grown. That's ain't nobody wife, bro. You saving
Yeah, I
somebody.
feel like
Fair, very
that's on the
fair.
Like you
girl.
Yeah, you
saving a
got me.
life. Nigga.
Because if I'm
You
being
got
honest,
me.
Keep
I
doing
mean, I
doing
don't know
that.
if he's like the creepy
Take her to the
perv,
grave with you, nigga.
but I do
Push her
think that
on
like he probably is
in,
just
nigga.
famous and walked around somewhere, and this chick was just like, "Oh my god, another 80-year-old guy, I love him," and then she fucking
I can see
probably
her
ran
balls
into
back
and started
from the
everything.
bottom of your jeans.
You got to factor in the money, Doc. Don't forget the money. It's an 80-year-old guy with millions. Yay!
That too, yeah, and like now she definitely has
And
a hand in the
you
pot.
trying to take these niggas out like Kevin Samuels. I'm telling you, they got all these old niggas popping
Yo,
Viagra.
I got it. This girl watches Brittany Renner.
What does that mean?
Get a bag.
Mm.
If you want to
No,
get a bag, get pregnant by one of these rich guys. She specifically meant NBA players like ballers, but she was smart and she took it like the NBA players. I'm going to step up. I'm going to the 80-year-old guys. They're easier. They're craving this young stuff. They're easier.
Gene, let me tell you something. I would love to give Brittany Renner credit for this, but Owen is not new.
No,
One,
I was
two.
being a dick. I was being a dick.
Let me say
I
three
was being a
names.
dick.
Let me say three names. Anna Nicole Smith. So
You guys said
she's,
three.
if anything, Anna Nicole Smith.
I guess
Oh, that's
Her
yeah,
what
name,
you meant. That's what
yeah.
you meant. Okay,
Anna
that's what
Nicole
you meant.
Smith.
Gotcha. That's what you meant.
She walked so she crawled so these bitches could run.
I mean, there's definitely gold diggers. So
So let me ask another question in this
I'm mad.
regard
You be mad
because
at her. She's successful.
so I'm gonna bring up I'm gonna bring something up to get to this point, and I don't want to talk about them. I just want to get to my point. But with the rise of podcasts like Fresh and Fit and the Whatever podcast, talking to these young girls, college girls to OnlyFans girls, and whenever they bring up the fact that they like the average girl that guys tend to be attracted to is between the ages of like 18 to like 24 or 22 to 24, something like that. And girls say, yeah, because guys are one, either pedophilic or two, take advantage of them. Is that now a valid, not now, but because of this, is that a valid argument? Because if girls have the capacity to date an older man with money, I would argue they're going to do it. So is that a take on the men or is it a take on the women?
What was the take on
Take
women
on
again? I
both.
kind of lost track of the train of thought.
So the reason I I was trying my best to bring up the point without talking too much about Pressure Fit and the whatever podcast, but
Mhm.
they usually talk about how average girl that guys tend to go for tends to be young, youthful, correct? Like the youthful tends to be the average girl that men go towards. And girls' contention with that is because men have this weird pedophilic tendency, or they're trying to take advantage of them, and they go hand in hand with that, like a take advantage pedophilic thing. But they don't. And my bringing that up because what we're discounting is girls go for these older guys because usually they're trying to get something out of these older guys, hence millionaires. These guys are millionaires. They got money, they got resources, they want the lifestyle. So is the dig that men are pedophilic, or is the dig women are opportunistic gold diggers?
I think
Playing,
it's a bit more
they're
primal than
playing
that.
off each other.
So I think it's more primal than that. I think because supposedly also women mature faster than men. So there's also the concept that women want an older man who's more mature than the guys at like their own age group. But then you have like the concept later where older women want younger guys because they seem more youthful too. So I think vice versa. Like there's just
I
people
don't
in
think that's
both
true.
demographic. We don't think older women like more younger guys that are fun and
on
like.
on average, like the average older woman, no, I completely disagree. That there probably are older women, yeah, who want to have younger
Yeah.
guys, but that's not the average older woman. That's just that's not the average older woman. The average older woman wants to have a stable. I don't know if it's a marriage, but just a relationship. Period. Like she's not out here just like let me get a younger guy so I can screw him, have fun sex.
Wait,
That's
hold on,
that's
hold on, hold
that's
on,
an
hold on,
older
hold on,
man mentality, not an older
hold on, hold on,
woman
hold on.
mentality.
Let's not conflate older and stable and financial to young and unstable financially. Because
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
we're just talking about looks. We're not talking about financial stability or family or anything like that. So like we're not talking about a relationship.
Well, I was thinking of just general interest, like as far
Yeah,
as
that's what I'm saying. So it has
Well,
to
you,
be almost like lustful.
Well, you
yeah.
can't take that out of the equation because that's part of what women want when it comes to relationships, or even not relationships, just towards a man, like attraction towards a man. Like most women who have one night stands aren't having one night stands with bums and losers. They're men who have some level of they have something that that um I guess
Panache.
validates them. Yeah, like validates them. Like if women were like if women if men would fuck men have sex whoever they want, be it a bummy girl or a rich girl, an ugly girl or a hot girl. That is men. Women are not having sex with ugly men, hot men, ugly men and hot men, or poor men and rich men. They're only having sex with hot men and rich men. So you have to factor that into
That's
the
a lot.
equation with women. I'm generalizing it. It's like obviously there's variables here, like obviously, but generally speaking, if a woman had a choice, she would only have sex with rich men and hot men. If you ask men, generally speaking, we don't care as long as we get to have sex.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you make all things equal, an older woman would probably want a younger, more successful man
Oh, for sure. I agree with that. Like, but the
versus
problem
an older, successful man.
but the problem is how many old young successful guys exist. You're more likely to find an older successful man. That's why when women reach a certain age, generally speaking around like the 30 to 40 range, they're done with the whole hookup culture because they want a more mature guy who will settle down, and you're more likely to find that around their age of 30 and up.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that wasn't the question. To the question for Doc was answering was like when he said when you gave the example of a mature woman not wanting. I'm just talking about like he said general interest at that point. That's what I was saying. Like I do agree with you. Everything else you did say. Like yeah, I get that. But like I just think if anything, if you're talking about it being optimal, everybody all older men and all older women would want somebody who's successful and younger, but not, I guess, too young. Whereas men's extremes, I guess, are more pedophilic, to be honest with you, like to that point. Whereas it also the balance is testing the morality of the girl, like how much of disgust can you take to in order to get
Achieve a
this
lifestyle or whatever
access
it
Well,
to
is.
this
because
Yeah.
money or whatever.
what
Yeah.
I think is more so that like the reason why guys go for younger girls isn't necessarily anything pedophilic. Like obviously there's a a threshold where it's just like okay that's pedophilic, but I think it's just because they're attractive. Like they're more youthful. Like they're more they just look more fertile in some cases and stuff like that. And that's not to say that like older women aren't attractive. Like there's definitely points where like maturity has kind of blossomed and it just looks far more attractive than just somebody who just looks spunky. But
Adolescent. Yeah.
yeah, adolescent. But like
Wrong woman.
I do think if you approach it with a sense of like, oh, I want like an innocent, little one that I can kind of like,
It's fucked up. It's
yeah, like kind of
disgusting.
get my hands around and manipulate and stuff like that, then that is pedophilic. But I think if you are just like looking for a mature mind, but in the body of a young looking like woman, like I don't think that's pedophilic. And I
I
think
wasn't
vice
saying that.
versa, like it's I don't knock women for looking for stability. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of natural. Like I don't knock a guy looking for a hot woman. Like so
I wasn't
I,
saying all interest was pedophilic. I was saying, like, to your point, like there's a
It can tilt that
threshold
way.
where it
Yeah, it
becomes
tilts. It can
where
tilt that
it
way.
tilts. So, because like it can't be all pedophilic because there are times where the age to you and to the individual you're with like may not even actually play a factor. So because there's no actual thought process. Oh, how old are you? I'm not 20, not too cool. Okay, cool. Then it's like you're not really thinking about the age gap or the age difference or anything like that.
That's
So
assuming they're
to your
being
point,
genuine, because the problem with that is people aren't genuine, in my opinion. Like, it depends on the threshold. If it's like 5 years to, like, I guess push it around to 15, 20, then maybe there's, like, you're right, it's not that big a deal. But once you get past that 20 and up,
well,
it's
there's a threshold, but
like,
then that's when it literally becomes. That's what I'm saying. That's when it becomes a talking point. Like the fact that you have to discuss it within itself is like, okay, we're treading water here. Like, what's your family gonna say? Like you have to have a serious conversation. Like she has a dad. He's probably older than him.
that is weird. Like,
that's
you're,
I think very much an edge
oh,
case like for situations like this where it's
I
like
didn't even think about that. Dude, that's kind
yeah
of weird. You're dating
yeah,
someone older than your dad. You're impregnated by someone older than your dad.
but
Oh,
also like the level of fame, like can you imagine like talking to the dad and being like, Dad, remember you're a Mick Jagger fan?
oh,
And they're like, "Well, yeah, I've loved him when I was a kid." And they're like, "Oh man,
I
can you,
couldn't do it.
can you
I
imagine
couldn't do it.
And do you
the
know?
rock star
Do you,
of your era fucked your daughter?" Like,
Dude, I would be
and then do
furious.
you
I
know
really
what
would.
he probably looked up to him for? Like drugs, cocaine, sex, rock and roll, all that shit. And then he
Came
came
knocking
in,
on his
and then
door.
yeah,
not only is he with your daughter, the nigga was in her raw, just in there shooting the club. How that? Oh my god! She let that leather Slim Jim. Oh my god, dog. I don't know, dog. She might be the more nasty one.
Yeah, I would agree
Either
with
that
that
or she
one.
on drugs for real. I guarantee you, she perked out.
I don't think so. I just honestly think she probably has like some kind of issue where she really likes older dudes. Like
No,
she
I
has some
don't
kind
think
of
it's
dad
She's
issues.
addicted to opioids.
either. It's one of two things. I agree with Doc. Either she has daddy issues or she is committed to attaining a lifestyle, and she locked that
She's
lifestyle
addicted
in.
to
Like,
opioids.
That might be it too. Yeah, maybe both.
the last point I want to bring up or touch back
She's
to
definitely the
is the reason
opioids.
why I brought up the whole fresh and fit in the whatever podcast is because if we're going to talk about men dating younger women and it has a threshold being pedophilic as we said, then we have to acknowledge the other side of the coin, which is women taking advantage of older men for their money.
Yeah, I definitely
Men
think like
date younger women to take advantage of them for their youthfulness. Women take advantage of older men for their pockets. They're
Correct.
one and the same thing. Like if you're gonna bash this, you gotta bash the other. And the reason why I brought that up is just because you don't hear women bashing women for dating older men because it's get your bag, girl, get your bag, sister. It's like, well, what about the guy? Like Doc Low-key said, and I push back against it because it's like he's what would you say? He's successful. It's like, how is that success? And it depends on your perspective. Like, if that's your goal to have sex throughout your entire life with young chicks, it's like, I guess, yeah, you're succeeding, but nah, dude, you're fucked up. Like, it's incumbent, in my opinion, it's incumbent on us men to acknowledge that no, you as an individual, you're fucked up. You got shit you got to work on. You're 83 years old, fucking 29-year-old women getting them pregnant. You, sir, are fucked up. Women got to do the same to other women. You're a 29-year-old dating an 83-year-old just to get money, just to get a lifestyle, to get a Bentley. You're fucked up. You, girl, are fucked up. My biggest gripe, and I
You
kind of a weird point to bring here, is this: we got people who are not being called out of them being fucked up.
I think they do. I just don't think maybe I get what you're trying to say. I think the national conversation doesn't carry like it does the other way. But like, first off, women talk shit about they women talk shit. So there's
Behind
no
the
way
back, though, there's a difference though
there's
behind talking shit behind your back and talking shit on
uh,
camera, if that
boom.
makes
So let me put it
sense.
like
Like
this.
in
So boom,
public,
let me put it
like
like this. If this topic was brought up on The View, there'd be three bitches on there that say, get your bag, girl. But
yes,
there'd be two bitches that definitely say,
nah, one.
she
I
doing
would
this for
argue
money.
one.
Whoopi Goldberg not gonna tell her. Whoopi Goldberg not gonna tell her get your bag.
Sure, Whoopi Goldberg, that one. That how many people on the five?
But,
The
but
View,
that's
five
but that's
people,
what I'm
right?
saying. So like, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like I get what you're saying as far as the national coverage or whatever. But it's just a difference of opinions. The same way, like not every nigga is gonna be talking to the old dude and be like, oh, you nasty for fucking this bitch. There's gonna be a lot of people that say, oh, he pimping. Oh, OG still pulling up with the young one. Like it's gonna be a lot of that too.
I
So
agree.
like
That's weird. That's just
it is weird
weird.
as hell, but I just think like it's just like I say, like we always say on the podcast, it's not normally the average person having the conversation that we hear talking or speaking.
It's the
So like, yeah, I
hedonistic
get it,
population.
honestly. So yeah,
he's
I
also
get
like
it, but like, no,
1% though, as far as like the opportunity of hedonism that's offered to him, which is really like I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying he's very much an outlier.
correct.
Like if you had the fame of Al Pacino, if you had the money of Al Pacino, like fucking Scarface, you know what I mean? Like he's actually just living that stuff out. Like it's it's not the norm by any means.
The
She
problem
was
is
absolutely the club up. That's crazy.
the problem is, and again, I reluctant to bring them back up, but the problem is with podcasts like Fresh and Fit is men want to have that lifestyle. I'd be willing to bet that Fresh and Fit would see this and be like, that's the goal. He's doing it. Do see guys, that's why you want to get your bag up, get your clout up, get your like maintain frame, because you could be 83 and still having sex with 20-year-old girls. That is wrong. You should not be advocating for that type of mentality in men. And
I can definitely see
I don't
that.
I
think.
could be
I don't
mischaracterizing
think.
them. I generally don't know. It's like based off the content they put out and the advice they give out, it seems like they would support something like this. And that, in my opinion, is a problem.
I don't think people understand. And now that's egotistical. I don't think some people think about what comes with other like when you accept some certain things, there are other things that come with that thing you're accepting because in order for that thing you're accepting to be true, there are other factors that play into it. So like when you're mentally saying, "Oh, it's okay, or it's cool for this old ass nigga to be with this young girl or whatever," there are other things you're accepting, like a little bit of pedophilia. Like there's a little bit of pedophilia in that. There's a little bit of like preying on the young. There's a little bit of like there are
Like,
other things that you have to accept when you say that. So to me, anybody who even try and like big up hit big ups him for this. Like there
because
are other things you're saying that are okay too.
I just think it's a weak argument to say, well, she's 29, she's legal, she's an adult, she knows the decision she's making. I mean, true, but it still doesn't discount the fact that he's 3 generations older than her. Like, there's something wrong with that. Like, you're still looking after girls like you're like this is a
But
stretch. This is a stretch, but you're having like
you know
I'm like,
what?
never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't think now when you say it that way to play devil's advocate, his daughter being 33 is the deal breaker 100%. But like if he's 83 and I guess she's about to be 30, I guess more from her point of view, like she knows what she's doing. Like I
100%.
guess you have to accept it, but it's just like
She will be with the woman Doc just described earlier. She will be the woman that will be in her 40s after Al Pacino dies trying to have sex with 20-year-old men. I have the money. I don't need the money. I didn't get to enjoy, youthful sex because I was too busy with these old leather guys. Now let me chase these young guys.
like Larsa Pippen. I think that to me, what she's doing is the equivalent of like waiting for a nigga to die to cash out on his bread. But then it's also like the equivalent of being okay with walking out in public and everybody identifying that you're just with this person for money. So, and we know you're fucking him. So it's like walking around with like slut on your forehead, like slut for hire on your forehead.
Is she a slut for hire? She's
I
not
mean,
doing OnlyFans,
technically,
I'm assuming. She probably
no, I'm
wasn't a
just saying
stripper or anything like that.
when the age gap is that like noticeable, like
He looks
they
80.
would
He looks
they would
83.
ask if that's his daughter if they went to
Yes.
a restaurant. You know what I'm
Granddaughter.
saying? So
Granddaughter.
granddaughter, yeah, 100%. Is this your grandfather? Yes, but it's probably happened. So like from to me, in just my opinion, the girl's the equivalent of like when you can see like this nigga probably got like 2 3 years max left on his contract and you can see her walking around with him. To me, that's like walking with a flag saying, like, hey, if you got money, like I'll fuck with you. Like that's just what I see. It's
So
just too
she's
obvious.
so she's an
It's too
OF girl
obvious.
with higher standards. She played the game smarter than typical girls, is what you're saying.
No, I didn't say she played the game smarter because it's too
No,
obvious.
I'm saying that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
And
take what you're saying and be I guess the word would be facetious. Because basically what you're saying, because you're trying to say like she's for hire, right? She's walking around with like a slut on her
correct.
forehead because she was an old
Yes.
man. But she did that and I'm saying she did that in a smarter way because instead of doing the OnlyFans route, making an OnlyFans selling your pictures to get $30,000 to $50,000 a month, she just expedited that to an older man. She tried to bypass the image to something a little bit different. It's a similar image, but it's not as blatant as being an OnlyFans model.
But she's also sacrificing more than her time in this because she sacrificed the reason why I said she's walking around with it on her forehead when it's this scenario is because it's easily accessible information now, like that you're with this person because of his fame. So it's like you're also excluding yourself from certain opportunities or like it's like making a stance. This is equivalent to me of making an OnlyFans because now like you can't undo like you're dating an old nigga.
But it's for
Like
him exclusively. Like I'm pretty
but
sure like
no, that's fine. I mean, even though it was Mick Jagger exclusively too, but
that's
like
fair.
you're walking around with this such an obvious. I'm gonna put it like this: there's a more player way to handle this. Like if the nigga is 45, 50, 55, maybe, like doesn't have to be the most famous person on earth. You can handle if this is what you want to do to live that lifestyle, whatever. You can do what you want to do, and I'm not like that's different money, so I get it. But you can be more discreet about your like. You don't have to like. It doesn't have to be this out. Like your parents can see this. Like your family can see this.
Well, to keep in
Like
mind,
she,
this is TMZ, so they probably sought this out. We're like, you can't assume that she's being
it's
out in public about.
Pacino. It was she's pregnant. We just now talking about it. She's Al Pacino.
Well, they
Chances
hid it
are
for
her
eight
family.
months. They hit it for
That's
8
what I'm saying.
months.
It's too obvious. Like you can bust these moves or whatever, and like keep it pushing without making it obvious in the public space. And to me, when you make a declaration of like this in the public space, you're also putting yourself up for sale. If you make it obvious, you're tricking.
I don't agree with putting herself up for the sale argument. I don't agree with that one.
I mean, I mean, I guess if she's 8 months pregnant, it doesn't matter. But like Mick Jagger, you don't think Al Pacino knew she was with Mick Jagger?
Oh, he 100% knew.
Okay. Do you think he was attracted to her when she was with Mick Jagger?
Probably.
He probably thought she was
Okay.
hot.
And then so he waited his turn and knew that he would probably have a chance with her because she fucked another old rich guy. So she didn't say she was for sale, but she said, "You fit my type." So like
I
for
mean, I
sale.
don't like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with you. Like in my opinion, it's the same mentality as a OnlyFans model or a stripper
I
or a
agree
prostitute. Like it's the
completely.
same exact mentality. It's just she applied it in my opinion, a smarter way.
Because the bag is bigger.
Well, one, the bag is well, you can't say the bag is bigger. It's just that it's more secure. There's more security in it. It's for life now. Like she has access, like she's has access now because of the child to his finances for life because of that kid. She doesn't have to
Right.
worry about a constantly generating monthly income like OnlyFans models. And two, the reason why it's better is because she doesn't have a internet footprint of all her videos or nudes. Everyone can
No,
only
I
we can
wasn't
only
comparing it.
speculate.
I wasn't comparing it to, okay, I agree it's the same as the OnlyFans model. I was saying the trade-off of doing this with somebody who's, I guess, that much of a millionaire and an actor and famous is your face. Whereas if you're a person who does this or whatever, and you do it to doctors or lawyers or whatever it is, your online face is there's still not you can move to another
There's
city.
some level of
You can
anonymity to it. Yeah.
yeah, that's all I was saying. That's
But
all I was saying. Like
but
just
like I
doing
said,
it like this,
the bag
it
was
makes
bigger.
it seem for sale. Like if you
I
go
get you.
Al Pacino, you telling me something. I don't care. And Mick Jagger, come on, son.
Because I re, I would be I'm arrogant enough to admit that I refuse to believe that she loves these men. It's not for love. No way. I refuse to believe that. It's for the money. It's for the lifestyle. There's no way. You can't be enjoying the sex. I'm sorry. There's no way there's enjoyment in that. There's no way. He's only got
I
2 pumps and he's good and he's done.
I would tell her to prove it. I would tell her to prove it. I would say, look at the carpet. You see that sucker has been on the carpet for 2 days. He got a little carpet hair on. Lick it. If you lick that, that means you like these old niggas. If you don't like that hair on that goddamn sucker, it's perfect. Bitch, you're lying.
All right, we'll cut it there. My man talking about licking hair, licking carpet. All right. That's enough fake deep thinking for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. We've been gone for 2 weeks, but we're back. I know we're recording on Monday instead of Tuesday. I didn't do an announcement, so we probably got no one in the chat except for Free Spirits. Thank you for showing up. We got to let Ethan know he's gonna be mad. Like, oh, y'all changed it to Monday? Yeah, we did. Because Doc's got to go back to his
Very
fighting.
sorry.
Doc's trying to get back to fighting.
Trying to turn on Tuesdays again.
Yep. So we're going to be recording on Mondays now, same time as usually, just on Mondays. Nothing's really changing except that. Make sure you like the video. If you have already liked it, make sure you leave a comment, give us some love or hate. We take it all. Share the video. We got to get more people in here giving us some love and hate, especially the hate because it's more fun. We'll see y'all next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all Fake Deep Thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.